All right, everybody, we are getting ready once again for another week, another Monday, another opportunity to come together as we're getting ready for this. Oh, my microphone is a little too high. Let's see. That's probably better. All right, this is the pre-show, everyone. We are on the pre-show 6 minutes before we go officially live at 7:30 for the Have Faith, Let It Begin episode. Is the Customer Always Right? Part 2. That's right. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity, and you're going to hear me say it again anyway, but I want to give every gentleman out there, and of course, animals, pet owners, happy Father's Day to each and every one of you. I hope everybody had a great time. I was going to do a Father's Day episode live yesterday. I thought about it. I set up for it, and then I said, this is a time for everybody to be together. This is an opportunity for some fathers to just take the time, and I was having a great day with Ariel, and I just wanted to take that time to continue, to enjoy and embrace the moment, especially since it was my first Father's Day, and I thought that was the right thing to do. But there will be a special Father's Day episode that I'm working on, that it's going to, air. I didn't want to do it on Father's Day, like I said. So I will do pay homage, since we have a Mother's Day spectacular that we did run. We'll do definitely a Father's Day one as well. Folks, just want to go over some business with you. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for last month. We got our reports in. Our downloads were up by 534, which is higher than last month. Last month was 437, I want to say, off the top of my head. So we're climbing. We're climbing and climbing over 1,000 in 2 months. Subscriptions are going up as well. And, that's really how our platform can grow and get bigger and better. So if you do listen to us, even on occasion, subscribe to our channel. It does help us out. It keeps us afloat. It keeps us moving in the right direction. And more importantly, it broadens our horizon, and it allows us to venture out into more different type of areas so that we can get our message out each and every weekday. Don't forget, we're available every single Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. live. We have our own website at www.havefaithletitbegin.com. We have our own email address. You can reach us, angel@havefaithletitbegin.com. We still have our Gmail account, so if you want to do that too, you can. It's a havefaithlig@gmail.com. We've transformed into a more professional email, but it's still available. In addition to that, when you go to our website, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there will be 2 spots for you to subscribe to our email. There is no spam, I promise you that. It is only so that I can give each and every one of you updates as to when we're going to go live for surprise events. And more importantly, when you subscribe to our channel, you are subscribing immediately for the free t-shirt that you can get once we get our inventory in. In addition to that, we're going to have so many more opportunities coming our way. We have a guest coming on next week. We're going to be recording with Angela. This woman is unbelievable. That's all I'm going to say. She's got an amazing message. So definitely want to get family and friends ready for that episode. Next month, my sister's coming back into town, so we're going to have our trio panel of Jen, Leanne, and I doing multiple episodes. We're going to have a lot of guests coming on this show in the next couple of months. I know I've said that for a while, but I really mean it when I tell you that this is finally happening. Everything that's been set up was pushed back because of myself being sick or Ariel getting sick and other things that have transformed along the way, but this time it's going to happen. My time management skills are improving, thank God. Woohoo! So with that being said, folks, I hope each and every one of you had a great Father's Day. And we're going to get started, and we're going to do it right now. On June 16th, 2018, I launched this show, Have Faith, Let It Begin. Join me each and every weekday at 7:30 a.m. live, because this is a show all about faith, motivational topics, inspirational stories, personal testimony designed for you, the daily commuter. My name is Angel, and welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
30 seconds to go.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin. Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin.
10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, this is Freddie, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new Monday. I call it New Monday because it's a fresh Monday, folks. And today is Monday, June 17th, 2019. First and foremost, happy belated Father's Day to every single father out there. May God bless you, and I hope that all of you enjoyed it. Myself, first time ever. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words and your emails. I appreciate it. Here's the ironic part about yesterday. Not only was it Father's Day, but yesterday was our 1-year anniversary for Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right. On June 16th, 2018, we launched this show. And this year, the anniversary fell on Father's Day. And it's amazing because if you know our story, you know that originally we thought that our child, with my wife and I, was probably going to be named Faith. So that's why I went with the show, Have Faith, Let It Begin. Excuse me, I'm still battling a cold. And of course, we ended up going with Ariel, which is a beautiful name, and I love her name, and I'm happy with that name. But look at how things work. 1 year later, on Father's Day, we end up having an anniversary date, 1 year, on the same day of Father's Day. And I just can't say how much of a blessing that is for me and for all the fathers out there. I hope you enjoyed your time with your children, and I hope you enjoyed your time with your wives and your families, and all of you pet owners out there. You are fathers too. A lot of people would laugh at that. I don't, because I myself had been a pet owner for many years before I became a father to a child. So you are all fathers as well, and may your blessings of upon you for yesterday be bestowed, and know that your pets respect you and you are fathers to them. So happy Father's Day to you. Folks, we're on part 2. That's right. Part 2 to this crazy episode that happened on Friday. A lot of downloads. A lot of people commented. And they were like, wait a minute, the customer is always right? Yeah, right. And you know what? We talked about it, so here we go. Last week we spoke about how often we walk into certain places. For example, you walk into a department store, and the first thing that happens is they stop you and say, do you need any help? And you say, no, I'm good, I'm just looking. About 15, 20 minutes later, you end up looking for that help. And 20 years ago, you'd find them. 30 years ago, you'd find them. Now, forget it. It's almost as if they do that part of the job because it's part of their job description. But then after you say you're not interested, they're not interested in you anymore. They're off doing another thing. Whether they're back at the register playing on their cell phone, whether they're talking on the phone to people that are not supposed to be on the phone with them, or in the back lollygagging, hoping and waiting for the time to tick down so that they can close out their shift. That's right, customer service is nothing like it used to be. So when you, the customer, complain, this is where it turns to the negative. As a customer, we have the right to complain about things that we're not happy about. Sometimes there's things that are in our control. Sometimes there's things that are out of our control. So when you make a complaint, when you feel that you've been done wrong, it is always good to keep your words clean. It is always good to keep your composure and stay professional. But too often, that doesn't happen. A customer feels that they need to yell, scream, curse, be disrespectful, because they think that's the way they're going to get their way. And at times, most people do. They do because they've done everything in their power to intimidate those managers that may be young, weak, or not sure how to handle hostile environment. The problem with that is it carries on to the next situation, the next altercation, until that day when the customer meets the wrong individual, the wrong opposition, And then that's when you find yourself in a problem. Folks, I'm here to tell you that I'm not an expert, but I've been dealing with customer service over 25 years. Actually, 22 to be exact. So for 22 years, I've been in customer service. For over 20 years, I've done phone work. And one of the things that I've seen in these 20 years is the way people interact with each other and they're not using their words correctly. Let me correct myself by saying what I mean by that. When I say correctly, back in the day, we could say things like, "Hi, I'm having difficulty locating this person. Can you help me?" And the customer service representative would say, "Not a problem. Can I get your name and your number? Let me look up your membership. Let me look up your ID number, and I'd be more than happy to help you." Now you don't get that. Now you get an instant aggravation. "Oh, I'm doing, yes." They'll let me start over. They'll say, "Hi, how can I help you?" "Oh, yeah, I want to talk to a live person. This is ridiculous. All I keep getting are voicemails, and all I'm getting are phone trees. I want to talk to a live person." And then the expletives start to happen. They start to curse. They start to be disrespectful. They start to be rude. When in fact that customer service representative inherited that mess, is taking that call for the first time, but we're so quick to judge that person as the enemy. I've said this time and time again. I've read this once. I've heard it once. I give credit to Joel Osteen because I did hear it from him. When you're right and you're rude, then you're wrong. And that's something that has always stuck with me, because we have all at one point lost our cool. Let's be honest. We have all at one point felt like we wanted to strangle somebody across that table, somebody across that phone. We all have had and dealt with people that maybe were incompetent, or maybe lazy, or just plain rude to us, and feel like they hated their job and they took it out on us. The thing is that once we lower ourselves to that level and we become rude, we become disrespectful, we become wrong. Many of you may look at me and say, "Angel, you live in a fantasy world. There's no way I can be that calm when somebody has done me wrong." Let me share with you a story. I was in the process of upgrading my house with windows. We went to Lowe's, and while I was there in the window area, there was no customer service representatives around. I looked around and I tried to find somebody. Somebody with a jacket, blue jacket, walked by, and I asked for help. And the first words out of their mouth was, "Sorry, that's not my department." That's very frustrating. So I asked them, "Well, can you find somebody that will help you?" "Sure, I'll get right back to you." Nothing happened. Another person walked by, and I asked them, "Excuse me, is this your department?" They said, "No, but can I help you?" "Yes, I have nobody here representing this Windows department. I'd like to purchase Windows." "No problem." He walked up to the counter, he picked up the phone, and he paged a customer service representative to the window department. Now, if I would have lost my cool between the first guy and the second guy, that person would have inherited the first person's mistake. That's not right. But the story continues. As I was waiting for the representative, the person did come eventually, sat down with me, we put the order through, and then when the order was sent out to my home, there was 3 windows ordered. One of the windows came cracked, broken. They told me that I had to call them back and reissue a new order. So I did. When I placed the order, they recharged me for a new window. I asked for my reimbursement for the first window. They said that it would happen within 5 to 7 business days. So I waited. 5 to 7 business days later, the charges were not removed. So I decided to go back to the store. When I walked into the store, yet again, there was no representative there to help me. So I waited, and I waited. 18 to 22 minutes later, I decided to, while waiting in the store, in the window department, call the store directly from my cell phone. And I asked to speak to somebody in Windows. They put me through. And the phone that I was standing next to at the counter began to ring. It was evident that nobody knew where that person was. Finally, I asked for a manager. The manager was busy, so I waited more. I left after 35 minutes. I decided to return when I was not angry. So the very next day, I made another appearance. This time, there were 3 people there ahead of me, and there were 2 managers helping out. Ironically, they were complaining about the same issue, not having anybody here helping them. So I waited. Finally, a manager looked at me, asked me if I needed any assistance. I started to speak to her and explain to her what had happened. Just in that moment as I was speaking, her phone began to ring. She never excused herself. She answered it and walked away while I was in mid-sentence. That got me upset. That put me in a rage. But I still didn't lose my cool. I waited for her to get off the phone. I asked for her name and I walked away. Now, mind you, that's a very hard thing to do, but I did. I called corporate compliance and lodged a complaint. I spoke with managers, and the regional manager returned my call. The regional manager returned my call and was embarrassed. I told him what that person had done. He immediately made sure that my reimbursement went through that moment. He immediately told me that he would be speaking to that manager and that retributions would happen. I said, no, I don't want this person fired. It was closer to the holidays. I says, all I suggest is that that person get retrained. No one should lose their job. Folks, there's a lesson here. And it's not about me being cool, calm, and collective. It's about the fact that we all need to remember that if we use our words, if we continue to be calm and do not let our anger, our frustrations get the best of us, maybe, just maybe, we can teach these individuals what customer service is all about. These young kids that get these jobs and they're 16 and 17, 18 years old and they're lazy and they're not doing work and they come to work all wrinkly and they don't look, like they've ironed their clothes. They just don't care about their job. I don't put that on them. I put that at the home front. I also put that at management. Management should remember that we lead by example, that you're only good as your staff. If you allow your staff to act that way, they're a direct reflection of you. Remember that each and every day as we go into the workplace, as we go into our stores. Don't go after the person just because they're not doing their due diligence and treating you with respect. Teach them a lesson. Use your words. And don't yell, because yelling goes through one ear and out the other. And that's all I have to say. Customer is not always right. The customer is right when they're actually using their words, staying professional, and not allowing the person to get the best of them. So I leave it up to you. Is the customer always right? I'd like to believe that they are. But the way we live today and the way people struggle with their anger and take it out on others and curse and swear, I'd have to say the customer is not always right. Have faith. Let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. We're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day. Don't forget, everybody, we're available at HaveFaithLetItBegin.com and available on every single platform: Google, Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcast Player, PlayerFM. We are available on Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook Live, and it's all for you. Have faith, let it begin.